Bedtime routines are really important when you're trying to establish any form of sleep for any child. It's about sort of establishing what they're doing from the point of view of what time they're having tea, to what time are they having milk, are they having a bath, are they having quiet time, or are they playing, and it's about establishing what is happening during that period, and then talking about what would be ideal. And obviously every family is very different, and what would be right for one family might not necessarily work for another. The most commonest problem that I find with sleep and the associations with sleep is falling to sleep whilst having the bottle or the breastfeed. And what that means is that child has then got that association with the sleep. So when it wakes in the night, it wants that milk and it wants that breast. So it's about breaking that cycle and how you break it and put it into that bedtime routine. And most parents, we say, actually, what time do they have the bottle? What time do they have their feed? And actually introducing that before the bath. And the bath is really important because what happens is with your body temperature, it actually produces, if it's a lovely warm bath, it produces a hormone which stimulates your sleepy hormone, your melatonin. We all have it, and children get it. Babies get it from about sort of 10 to 12 weeks old. So you have your tea, they have a bit of play, a bit of stimulation, and then you can give them their milk before the bath. Then they have a bath, not probably longer than about 10 minutes, because actually what you're not trying to do is sort of stimulate them and sort of getting them excited again. It has to be enjoyable and warm and lovely. What you want to do is go from the bath to the calm environment, rather than sort of, some parents originally had bath time, a bit of play downstairs and milk, and then they would fall asleep in their arms. Breaking that association is what you want to do. So tea, play, milk, bath, then into their room. And whether you're doing baby massage or whether you're having that lovely yummy time with them, that's great. If they were falling to sleep with the milk, then what you would be saying is rock your baby to sleep. So actually they've had the milk, you're cuddling them, you're rocking them to sleep. And actually once they're fully asleep and they're rocked in your arms, then you place them in the cot. It's really important to stay with them for 10 minutes after that sleep, and that's really, really crucial, because once they've gone to sleep, it would take them 10 minutes to go down into that very deep sleep. And quite often you probably find children, you think they're asleep, and then you just crawl out the room and they wake up again. And that's because they've not dropped down to that low sort of, that deep sleep. And by staying with them for that, they feel very secure of how they've fallen to sleep. So they're asleep in your arms, you put them in the cot and you stay with them for 10 minutes. We would recommend do that for 3 to 4 nights. And then it's what we call a very gradual retreat. It's about sort of saying, on the 4th night, instead of rocking them to sleep, cuddle them in the cot. And, we've had parents sort of going over them, cuddle them one hand under, one hand over, and just feeling really secure about that. So they feel secure, the baby feels secure, or the toddler feels good, or the child feels very secure with that. And it's about doing exactly the same, staying with them until they sleep for 10 minutes. And the important thing is not to get into any conversation. It's not a game, it's just a very calm, very sort of loving, but you're actually letting them go back into the cot, but actually lie down. You've got that physical contact, and that's really important for them to feel like they've not been abandoned in any way. The best time to start a routine, we'd say, is 6 months. From 6 months. We do give advice before 6 months of looking at ways that we could potentially help. But, babies need that attachment, they need that love, that feed, that skin to skin, all that other stuff for the brain development. So we actually say 6 months. And by 6 months, as a rule, a lot of children may, depending on their nutritional intake during the day, may not need any further feeds. They might be still on one feed during the night. And that's why we look at it a very individual basis, but we also look at it about what's happening within that 24-hour period. If there was any message out there, it would be to say, look at the bedtime routine, see what's happening, and see how you can improve it, and it'd be to break that cycle. And it might be that parents are starting from, I can't get away from holding my child's hand, I can't leave the room. And again, it's about saying, take one step away from that, but always do it in small, realistic sort of measurements that they can actually feel that they can achieve, but without the child feeling anxious and they've been deserted.